Okay. So now today's topic is about the dynamic routing protocol of IGP is EIGRP. Okay. It stands for Enhanced Interior Gateway Routing Protocol. Okay. It is an IGP protocol. IGP protocol. It is a layer 3 protocol. Its IP protocol number is 88. Okay. So its AD value is okay. Actually, it has two AD values. Okay. One is 90 for internal AS and 170 for external AS. Okay. Its multicast address is multicast address is 224.0.0.10. Okay. So here is some basic information regarding our EIGRP protocol, where the EIGRP stands for Enhanced Interior Gateway Routing Protocol. Okay. Actually, it is a hybrid routing protocol. Like if you see in a routing protocol, whole routing protocol is divided into two parts. One is the distance vector routing protocol and another is the link state routing protocol. Whereas the EIGRP is a protocol which is using both concepts simultaneously to find the best way from source to destination to negotiate the information. Okay, so it is also a layer 3 protocol. That means that it is execute all the behavior or all the things in network layer. Okay, where the IP protocol number is 88. Okay, it has two 80 values, which means that if you can see, I already told you that AS means that a simply logical area. Okay, so if you choose, if you see here is a logical area. Okay, just I change the color. Okay, here is a logical area. In between this logical area, I put some routers and connected them. And to share information among these routers, if I am using the EIGRP, then the routers using 90 AD value to share information between them. Okay, so exactly like same, if I have another AS and I also use some routers there. Okay, so they can also be used the same AS in its internal communication. But if I try to connect or to try to share informations between one AS to another AS, at that case, if one AS try to sharing its own network information with another AS, then at that time they use a specific AD value which is 170. Okay, so that's why I written here like EIGRP is using 170 for its external AS. Okay, like if EIGRP wants to share information from one AS to another for its external AS communication, it uses 170 as its AD value. Okay, to specify that that particular network belongs to its outer AS. Okay, the last point is about it is using a multicast address 224.0.0.10, which simply means that among all the routers, they can negotiate some dynamic packets to share information with each other. By doing these things, it simply uses a multicast address, which is 224.0.0.10. Okay. Apart from that, okay. Apart from that, you can see it has two timers. two timers. One is hello. Hello is 5 seconds. Like 5 seconds. And second one is the hold on. Hold time, which is 15 seconds. Okay. So hello means actually, if you see in UDP, sorry, in brief, it is using the UDP protocol. That's why it simply send updates packets periodically in every 30 seconds. To simply mean that the packet is successfully delivered to its another router, okay, another site router. But in EIGRP, if we simply activate it, like you can see, if you take an example of like this, if I choose two routers, one is R1 and second one is R2, and connected with each other. Okay, if I activated EIGRP here and also activated EIGRP here, then EIGRP started sending some multicast packets, okay, with each other in every 5 seconds. That particular packets is used to identify that whether in the other side is there any connection activated or not, is there any EIGRP protocol activated or not. Okay, if it found the EIGRP protocol is successfully activated, then uh, so through this packet they can easily create a neighborship by which they can able to share information with each other. Okay, so to doing these things it can share some particular packets in every 5 seconds. Okay, after formed the neighborship, it also send same type. Sorry, it also send these packets continuously in every 5 seconds to check whether the connection is activated or not. Okay, so that's why it is simply sharing the packets, which is named as hello packets in every 5 seconds. Okay, so the purpose of hello packet is to create neighborship and to check whether the other side device or the other side EIGRP is enabled or not. Okay, like the connection where so the connection which is established over the devices, sorry, in between the devices is activated or not. Okay, so to doing these things, the devices periodically in every 5 seconds negotiated some specific packets named as hello packets. Okay, so what about its hold time? Hold time means if like is due to some issues R2 doesn't have the ability to share the yellow packets with R1. So after three yellow packets, R1 simply break the neighborship with R2. Like that, it simply understand that the EIGRP protocol is not activated in, sorry, is not activated in R2. That's why it simply break the connection and remove all the informations that it simply carry through the EIGRP packets sent by the R2. Okay, so this is known as the hold on timer. This is the specific purpose of the hold on time. Okay, what about its metric value? Uh, its metric is composite k values. Okay, so the composite k values is actually EIGRP specifically uses 5 values to calculate its best path. Okay, so to do these things, it is simply uses 5 things. One is the bandwidth. Okay, where it choose the value as one. Second one is the load. Load is put the value 0, and delay. It also choose it for 1. Reliability. For this, it chooses the value 0, and MTU, it also chooses the value for 0. Okay. So what is load? Sorry, what is bandwidth? Bandwidth means the capability of the link. Like if you choose, like if you see, here is the device router and second one is the R2. If I connect them with a cable, so that specific cable that I use to connect both the devices is fast Ethernet type. So the fast Ethernet means that the capability of data sharing of this cable is 100 Mbps. Okay, which is known as its bandwidth as well. Okay, bandwidth means the capability of the link. How much amount, sorry, what is the amount of data that the particular device, sorry, that particular cable should able to negotiate from one device to another. Okay. Second one was the load. What is load? Load is the very simple things. Like load simply means that the CPU utilization of a device. Like you can see, if uh, I share 500 GB data from R1 to R2. In this case, the CPU utilization is much more higher on R1 to process this 500 GB data. But after successfully forward this 500 GB data, I again need to send 2 KB file from R1 to R2. So if you see in this both work, the CPU utilization is maximum. We have to send the 500 GB data from R1 to R2. Okay, so the CPU utilization, if you see, it simply takes 0 as its load value because the load value is not a constant value. So that's why it is not using this specific value to calculate its metric. Okay, rarely it uses some values to calculate its metric, but in real field, in real scenario, it simply ignores the load values to calculate its best value because due to this fluctuation of its value. Okay. Third thing is about delay. Actually, delay is a specific value which is calculated over the interface, over its receiving interface. Okay. And this values is constant for this value is constant according to its cable type. Okay, that's why it also choose the delay value as one. Fourth is about the reliability. Reliability means the trustworthiness of a path. Trustworthiness of a path. Like if you can see, if I if I'm trying to send, sorry, if I try to send, if I try to sending 10 numbers of packets from R1 to R2, and these 10 packets is successfully received by R2. It simply means that that particular path is 100% reliable. Okay. But if I send 10 packets from R1 to R2 and over R2 is able to receive 8 numbers of packets. It simply means that this particular path is now 80% reliable. Okay. So this is if you consider the reliability in its metric, so it is also varies and the particular data transmission is also like the reliability feature is also dependable by using of the link which is known as the congestion over the link. If the congestion is less, then the packet get all the packets like the particular path is fully reliable. If the congestion level is high, then the particular path must be not must be somehow it simply drops some numbers of packets. Okay, at that time that particular path is not 100% reliable. Okay, and last thing is about MTU. Actually, MTU doesn't followed for its metric calculation, but due to the cost model, MTU is included. That's why. But in real field, AIGRP never uses the MTU to calculate its metric. To calculate its best path. Okay. Apart from that, here you can see in AIGRP. Okay. Apart from that, in AIGRP, it also has some packets. Okay. So now the time to discuss about the EIGRP packets. Okay. So as per the EIGRP concept, it has 5 numbers of packets. Okay. And the purpose of these packets is to do some specific task. Okay. In between our EIGRP protocol. So first packet is about hello. The purpose of hello is to create the neighborship, create neighborship, create neighborship and maintain it. Also maintain it and also maintain it. Okay. Second thing is about the update packet. Update update packets. The purpose of update packets to carry the information, database information, and negotiated them in between the whole network. Okay. So apart from that, it also using the acknowledgement uh, just to acknowledge, just to acknowledge that update packet, update packet is successfully delivered. Okay. The fifth one is about hello update acknowledge query, which simply means that if best path, if best path goes down, and the second best path is not there, not there, then to find the path device can be generate generate the query packet. Okay. And what about the last packet? Last packet is the reply message. Reply. So on the behalf of query packet, devices sends the reply packet. If any device has some specific path by which that particular device which is generated the query packet to find its best path, then that particular device sent a reply packet towards that particular device by which it simply advertise that particular packet to this another router by which the router can capably find the path from its source to destination again, and on the behalf of that it simply negotiate the information between these two devices. Okay, so this is the purpose of these hello packets. Okay, so now HRP tables. Okay, it simply maintains three types of tables. One is the neighbor table by which it's simply stored neighbors neighbor information information. Okay, like neighbor table, it simply stores the neighbor parent prefixes, like what are the networks available on its neighbor router. That particular information is stored in between this specific routing table. Sorry, in this specific table. Okay, which is named as the neighbor table. Second thing is about the topology table, by which it can able to store whole topological informations. Store the entire topology information. Again, and next thing about the routing table used to store the best path only, the best path only. Okay, so this is the use of our EIGRP tables. Okay, so this is the all about EIGRP protocol, and also you can see it is used some specific terminology to maintain its neighbor table or its topological table. So these are the specific termino terminology for EIGRP. So what is it? First one is the CD. CD stands for the cumulative distance. Cumulative distance. Okay. Second thing is about the reported distance. Okay. Third thing is about feasible distance. Okay. Then now the term to get like successor. Successor. Yes. Successor. Successor. Sorry, yeah. Successor. And second is about the feasible successor. Okay. This is the specific terminology. What is cumulative distance? Like if you see, I simply make a topology like this. So maybe that particular topology is helpful for you to understand these things. You can see it is R1 and it is R2. If I have a possible path like this, it is R3, R4 and R5 like this. Okay. So what is cumulative distance? Cumulative distance means if you see R1 is my source and R2 is my destination, then all the possible paths all the possible paths available on R1 to reach the destination R2, all the paths is stored as in cumulative distance. Okay, like you can see, if I want to share some information from R1 to R2, then there is three possible paths are available. Okay, so these three possible paths is named as the cumulative distance. Okay, what is the reported distance? The reported distance means from its neighbor router to its destination. What is the path that advertised by its neighbor is known as the reported distance. Okay, like if R3 knows what is the distance from R3 to R2 and that information is advertised to its neighbor R1, then R1 store that particular information on its reported distance table. Okay. What about feasible distance? Feasible distance is, you can also say it like the least CD, like the least cumulative distance. Like you can see, if I choose the path, like you can see, this is the direct cable connected with R2, and this is the most convenient path to share information from R1 to R2. Okay, so that particular path is the best path to reach R2 from R1. So that particular value, so that particular path is stored in feasible distance, which is means that the best path, or you can also say that it is the least city. Okay, what is successor? You simply say that the feasible distance is the successor because successor is the best path. And what is the feasible distance? What is the feasible distance? And the feasible distance is the second best path. Okay, like you can see, it is the best path, it is the second best path, and the third best path. Then the first one is known as the successor. You can also say it as feasible distance. Okay. Feasible successor means that the second best path, so it is obviously the feasible successor. What is the reported distance? The distance from R3 to R2 advertised by R3 to R2 R1, and from R1 to R2 advertised by R1 to R1. Sorry, R4 to R1. So the specific path is stored as reported distance, which is named as RD. Okay. Now, what is cumulative distance? All the possible paths from source to destination. Okay. All the possible paths available from source to reach the destination. Okay. So that particular information stored as cumulative distance. Okay. So this is all about the terminology that we are using in EIZP. Okay. So now the time to do the practical. Okay. So guys, till now, any doubt? Bhuvan, Abhishek,
No, no, sir. No, sir.
it's all clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Abhishek, thank you, Bhuvan. Is there any doubts?
Oh,
Okay, fine. So now it's yes. Okay. Okay. So now the time to do the practical. So just open our Cisco packet tracer and started doing practicals. So we are doing the same practical. Okay. That we did yesterday. Okay, exactly the same topology to reconfigure that particular topology by using the EIGRP. Okay, guys, now you can see I chose these two routers named the model number is 2811. I also choose two switches. The model number is 2950T, and here I also choose some pieces and I simply choose some cables to connect. Okay, so the network that I using to configure this whole topology. So the first network is exactly the same topology that I was taking yesterday, 0/24, and here is the network n.0.0.0 slash. Okay, so now it's time to configure it. CLI no w function terminal the bus personal device 0 IP address. This specific value is used as default gateway over its LAN device. 0 by 1. Okay, now it's done. Just using some IP address to configure the LAN devices, where the default gateway is 192.168.1.1. Okay, 192.168.1.1. 192.168.1.3. Okay, guys, done. So as per the concept, you can see after doing the IP addressing, after completing this IP addressing process, you can see over this router one. If I consider this router as router one and this router is router two, then on this router one, you can see it's on its routing table. Now it has two networks information. One is 10.0.0.0 and second one is the 192.168.1.0. Over this our router 2, it is also has two network information 10.0.0.0 and another one is the 192.168.2.0. Okay. So if I try to share some information between 192.168.1.0 to 192.168.2.0, okay. So now you can see both the routers doesn't have the destination network information on its routing table. So how should I configure this destination network information on its routing table? So to doing these things, we are using a specific routing protocol named as EIGRP. Okay, so how do I configure the EIGRP protocol? How do I enable the EIGRP protocol to share information to share the network information in between these routers and hosted the particular destination network on its routing table. So just follow the protocols. Okay. So now you can see, as per the concept, the routing table just has network information 10 and 192.168.1.0. So to activate the EIGRP, you have to choose the command router EIGRP. Then here you can choose the autonomous number. Here the autonomous number, what is autonomous number? I already told you that autonomous is a simple area by which we can use some specific devices to share information, to connected with them and to do share information with each other. Okay. So that particular area that I want to create. So to identify that particular area, we use some specific logical numbers, okay, because this autonomous number is 16-bit values, okay. So 16 bits means it simply carries the value from 0 to 65535, sorry, 65535, where 0 is not used, and we also start the count from 1 to 65535, okay. That's why I choose the first autonomous value as one. So to enable the EIGRP, you have to choose the command router EIGRP1. Now it's time to configure the network. Now you can see this is the available network on its routing table. So just simply enter these values like this 192.168.1.0. Also do the same things from other side over the other side router. First check this routing table. You can see it also has two network informations. Activate the router, and here you can see here is some specific preference criteria to that we should definitely follow if I want to create the neighborship by using the EIGRP. Okay, so the main important thing is that the autonomous number on both sided over the both routers should be same. That's why the router can able to share information with each other. On the behalf of that, they should able to create the neighborship and started sharing the information with each other. So I choose same autonomous number here. So network 10.0.0.0 and the another network is about 192.168.2.0. Okay, easy. So if I done all the configuration successfully, so now you can see on my routing table, I simply get the destination information as D. D means, like you can see, D is used to identify the protocol named as EIGRP. Here is the network information and here is the prefix value. 90 is internal AD. Okay, and this configurations. Oh, sorry, this particular prefix information that this particular route get through this IP address 10.0.0.1. Okay, like this you can also check over this specific router. It also can able to get the information of 2.0. 2.0. Okay. So now you can see if I am trying to ping from PC0 to PC2 192.168.2.2. Now the first packet will be dropped and remaining are pinging properly. Yes, done. Okay. So this is the basic configuration of dynamic protocol named as EIGRP. Okay. So guys, is there any doubts? Anand, sorry, Bhuvan.
No,
Bhuvan, Abhijit, so Abhishek, Kishore, guys, is there any doubts?
no, sir.
It's simple.
Yes, sir.
Yes. So now it's time to enter. Like if I say, sorry, if you try to introduce the LAN network, sorry, introduce the internet. If you try to provide the availability of internet through this LAN network, then you have to do some extra configurations. Exactly. Like the RIP. So you have to choose the serial cable first. Okay. What is it? Where is the AWS entity? Okay. So after that, you simply choose the router. Also connect the serial port and choose a system like this. Okay, guys, this is it. Okay. So to do this configuration, I choose the network like this, /16, whereas the network is. Okay. So let's start doing the vertical. So the port is serial 0 by 0 by 0, where the IP address is 172.16.0.1. Okay, exit. And serial 0 by 0 by 0, IP address 172.16.0.2 to 5 to 5.0.0. Okay, so I simply use this particular system like as Google system. If I able to ping that particular system through this LAN network, then I simply get that. Actually, I consider simply like this. This particular router is named as ISP, like it is the internet service provider, by which I can able to get the internet connectivity through this my sorry over my LAN. Okay, so to do these things, I simply need to configure the static route here, which is known as static default 0000. Okay, we already discussed it in RIP. Okay, so I also do it the same things from other side. Okay, I figure out 00 and serial 0 by 0 by 0. Okay, so now you can see if I try to ping from PC0 to PC4, it's not able to ping because over this router, over this middle router, this router only has the permission, has the ability to share information with internet because the default configuration as the EIGRP configuration both are available over on it. Okay, so if I try to share this default information throughout this LAN network, then we have to merge that particular static information in between our EIGRP protocol. So how should I do it? So again, enter to its protocol mode and write the command redistribute static, and you have to specify some values which is known as the composite K values. First one is the bandwidth in kbps, then the delay in microseconds, then the 255 for reliability, 255 for um, load, whereas the MTU size is 1500. Okay, 1 minute. Okay, I simply forget a command named as metric. Okay, so now command, so type the command exit. Now you can see over this router also get its show IP. Now you can get this that particular default information is configured over this router through EIGRP. Like this is the EIGRP. D command used to identify the EIGRP. Star command is used to identify the candidate default, whereas the EX is used to identify that is an external EIGRP. Okay, so that's why it simply uses the ID value 170. Okay, so now you can see my PC0 is now able to ping from the outside system 3.2. To do this is simply drop two packets and okay, sorry, after dropping one packet it will ping properly. So this is the whole real field scenario to implement the routing protocol in LAN network, and how should I introduce the internet on our LAN network. So guys, is there any doubts till now? Bhuvan, Abhishek, you sure?
No, sir. No, sir.
Definitely clear, all clear.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so I simply stop the batch now. So here is the task, like you just follow the video and do all the configurations exactly like this. Okay, so if you are getting any troubles, then you simply note it down. And for tomorrow class, before I start the session, you will ask me the problems, and I will definitely help to resolve all the things. Okay. So for today's session, thank you for the session, guys. See you tomorrow.
Okay.
Okay.